Hey troops, Roofing Geeks Adventures, woohoo! So doing a retro toy review today. I want to do something different because I've been doing lots of superhero stuff, some mecha stuff, but not as much like monster kaiju stuff. So I thought I would do one of two figures that I really like. They're from two separate companies. The figures are the Ancient Worm and Cthulhu, and you're going, okay. Give me a minute. You'll see. Let me show you what we got, all right? And here, oops. There we go. Here we go. Here we have the Ancient Worm, which is from McFarlane Toys. They did a this is kind of from back in the day. They were when they were still doing I believe from the Dragon line, they were still doing their Dragon line and stuff, but it is from the Ultima online game, the Ancient Worm. And now this guy, this version of Cthulhu, this is from SOTA Toys, and it's from their, I'm not sure how far their line got. It's from the Lovecraft Nightmares of Lovecraft line, Cthulhu. And you're going, okay, why? Any particular reason that you got these figures? This one, the Cthulhu figure, I got this by luck. Good grief, like literally 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I was at the Origins Gaming Con here in Columbus, Ohio, and I was at the Steve Jackson booth, just kind of looking at stuff, blah, 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 and they had boxes of this guy there for sale. As in literally going, I don't remember the exact, was it 10 or 15 bucks? It wasn't a lot. And you're going, how much? Because some of you diehard collectors are going, we'll talk about that more later. But yeah, and of course, I'm a Cthulhu fan and went, Cthulhu figure must get. So of course, I had to get up. Yeah. Now the Ancient Worm, this one, this was just a purchase by sheer luck. Again, sheer luck. Window shopping through eBay, blah 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 blah, and literally at random, this came up, and I went, ooh, it's pretty. So I just picked them up loose, just totally loose, off the card, and you're probably wondering why are you putting these together? Do you see them? Do they not look cool? And do they not look like they're begging to be like on a giant battlefield? Oh, rah, rah, pew, 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 rah. Or, Godzilla breath noise and whatever Cthulhu's doing. So yeah, seriously, they're magnificent, and they just seem like a great pairing. Okay, for diehard Cthulhu fans, I know that that's not the point of Cthulhu. It's not meant to be this kaiju mashup, blah, blah, blah. It's my figure. So, yeah, and if I want him to fight, want it to fight it, actually, technically, yeah, and besides, see, they're gorgeous. And I think that was part of it, too. A lot of the time, a lot of kaiju figures, monster figures, and they end up kind of looking basically like dude in a suit. Or they look like, the umpteenth dragon figures. And what drew me to both of these pieces was the fact that they're beautifully done, and they add a lot of unique twists and little extra things that kind of set them apart from other figures. Cthulhu is a great example of that. Usually you see a lot of Cthulhu figures out, basically it looks like a dude in a suit, slime covered, yada yada yada. With this figure, SOTA, they went in a different direction. They really went nuts with the detail on the sculpting. Let me get the Ancient Worm a little bit further out of the way. Okay. Look at the detail here. The bumps on the arms and everything. You got The best example really is the feet. Usually you see Cthulhu feet and they're monster feet. These are giant tentacle feet with suckers on it. I mean, look at that. Is that not cool? And the fact that, yes, Cthulhu traditionally has, the tentacles. We don't just have tentacles around the mouth. We got these tentacle things flying everywhere. You've got these frayed wings and everything. The details and you got tentacles in the butt. Tentacles in the butt. Tentacle butt. Yeah, I got juvenile. It's the weekend. I'm tired. Anyway, you get the idea. Now, the bad news is that, it's an action figure. The limitation is grossly limited. I wish in many ways, for instance, that the legs weren't. If you stood him up and the legs were all chicken leg like this, it would probably be about this high. I mean, it would be this humongous thing. I imagine, though, for the sake of manufacturing, for the sake of keeping it to a price point that isn't going to make people go, well, I don't want giant squid man for $50. This is, like I said, this is like 20 years ago that I purchased this. So, I mean, obviously Cthulhu is still a thing, but now it is more of a thing as opposed to back then where it's like, why do I want to read about the giant squid monster? I got Godzilla already. You get the idea. So, unfortunately, there are limitations in what they could do, but I mean, one nice thing, these tentacles, they have like a little bendy wire in it, so you can put it in all sorts of other positions and stuff like that. So, I mean, I love the fact that in this case here, the hands are bent and the arms are bent, so it looks like it's casting a spell. Pew, 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 pew. Or, and I wonder what noise Cthulhu. But yeah, I mean, it's just beautiful piece of work. Now, on the other side, the adversary, the ancient wyrm. It's a McFarlane figure. Now, yes, it's the umpteenth dragon, which, let's be honest, sometimes can be a little tiresome. Oh, great, another dragon figure. It's like having another Batman figure. Hint, hint to McFarlane Toys. But if you don't like the Batman figures from McFarlane Toys, if you're going to do it, you do it right. And the ancient wyrm figures, again, like with this figure, it's the little things that really have the figure stand out. The wings aren't just bat wings, and you've got this clear plastic, and it looks looks like a giant membrane, like on a bat's wings. You got the little vein details. You've got it's not just a serpentine neck. It looks like a giant cobra hood. You look at, it's not just scaly armor, but you've got these funky little like tufts of fur or whatever you want to call it. All these extra things. Now, again, unfortunately, like Cthulhu, there's no articulation. You've got this little leg thing here. You got a little leg thing here. Basically, this is all. The figure comes with a stand. Now, the stand has 3 pegs for 3 of the feet. I'll get into a little more detail when I talk about the packaging, about how this can still be an issue. So, basically, though, the leg articulation is meant to help you put the legs on the pegs. It's not meant for dynamic poses. The good news is actually, though, like Cthulhu, this figure's already got a nice pose to it. So at least you don't have to worry about that. And then you can find ways to display it, have it look all cool. The tail is kind of, again, the parallels continue. Just as the legs are bent here to kind of reduce the size of the figure, the tail is bent for packaging's sake. I mean, it doesn't add, 3 feet to the length of the figure, but I would have been nice to have the tail be able to extend out a little bit more to get more of that long serpentine look. But, nonetheless, the figure, both of these are beautiful, uber detailed monster figures. That, I mean, look at her right now. I mean, these things are just, they're gorgeous. Now you're wondering, yeah, great, Roy. So how hard is it to get these? Now the good news, the ancient wyrm actually is pretty easy to find, even mint on card. This thing comes in a giant plastic clamshell box. Now you're looking the wings going, how the heck? These come off. Now the good news is these come off, so easy for packing away, yada yada yada. The bad news is that if this thing falls, their little peggy things do break. As I discovered. Now the good news, well, at least for me, I got lucky, and the peggy thing is there's just enough of a stub in there that the wings still do attach here on the shoulders. But nonetheless, now what happens though is this giant figure and these two wings get crammed into a giant clamshell package. So this bendy tail portion, it's crammed in there. So trying to extend the tail. Check your secondary markets. Maybe you might get lucky at a big box store that, all of a sudden, they're digging in the back on, hey, we got these old McFarlane Toys figures. The 30 plus, loose. I got this, I think, for like $20. Yeah, seriously, $20 loose. So I mean, even mint on card, even for adjusted pricing to 2022, it's not bad. For this, I mean, the piece is beautiful. So definitely cool. Bad, not even bad, horrific news. This, not so much, because odds are by now, you've gone to, your search engine of choice and gone, okay, SOTA, SOTA, yeah, Nightmares of Lovecraft, Cthulhu, and you're looking going, ow, yeah. Remember what I said about, back in the day, Cthulhu, ooh, Squid Godzilla, compared to now, oh, Cthulhu. Well, that's reflected in how much people are chasing after this thing. Loose, yes, you can find them loose. And you're still looking and going, yeah, $100. So this is an occasion, it's my precious. So's my dragon. So's the dragon, but this is a little more pressure. No offense, but you're replaceable. You? So yeah. So these two figures, like I said, the reason I'm just bringing them together is because they're both beautifully done. They both have the same kind of issues as far as articulation. But also they have both also the same standout features. The fact that these are just both beautiful pieces of work, incredibly well done, and look great on your shelf. And if you're looking for something that doesn't look like just another monster dude in a suit monster figure, these are definitely worth it. Okay, you've got some fiscal choices to make on this one, but this one, it's a reasonable choice. It's definitely reasonable. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they're both so fun and so cool to look at. So just a couple new things to keep your eyes open for. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go. So hey, I'm sending you lots of good vibes. Hope you guys get lucky trying to find these. Well, actually, this you can do, obviously. So hey, enjoy the rest of the weekend. May the odds be in your favor, especially when you're action figure hunting. May the force be with you. And as always, most importantly, be good to each other, okay, peeps? Take care. Peace. Bye.